Bob Oberg loves many things, including poetry and fishing from a kayak. And when the two come together, it makes for a near perfect day. And we hooked up with Bob one early morning when he and good friend Scott Devona hit the shores of Narragansett.
Getting them mounted, making sure you have everything that you're going to need for that day's trip. Probably takes about 30 minutes just to get everything, get the lines cut, new knots put on. You don't want to take any chances. It's easier to do it on land than it is in the kayak. You get a system down, it doesn't take much time. These Hobies are just great kayaks too for this.
These boats have a sail attachment as well. There's a little hole here. We were actually out on vacation up in Maine and had the sail on. It's a 10-foot sail, so it's a lot of fun. We
put the outriggers on at that point because it gets tipsy. Without it, you'll flip right over. But with them in, when you're pedaling, as you go along with it, that thing will fly.
It takes about 2 minutes to set them up. They're inflatable pontoons, incredible stability for the boat. And I mean, to me, it's another safety factor. You go out on the bay or you go out on the ocean, the conditions change. You put those on, you can handle almost anything that you would reasonably be out in there.
Before you launch, everything needs to be secure.
So I got hookups for everything here. Wires on both of my rods, my fish grippers. I bolt in my water bottle, bolt in all my tackle. Some tackle underboard here, and a little hatch here. So I got nothing in front of me. God forbid a big wave. I'm not losing much equipment. I came close once. I had a wave come over my head once in the boat, and fortunately I had pontoons on. It scared me. Because what happened was I was out in front of the Coast Guard house, and about 100 feet out, invisible to me, all of a sudden it went to zero. So I was high-ended on some rocks, and I look up and the wave is going. I thought, holy cow.
Fishing supplying plenty of material for Bob's other passion, poetry.
I've been writing poetry for 30 years, and over the last 15 years or plus, been fishing with increasing intensity. And at one point there began to be a conflict between the two. That I took so much joy out of fishing, I had less energy for writing poetry. I got up at 3 in the morning to fish one day, and I said, well, it's all energy. So I wrote this poem before I fished, then I let myself go fishing. I tried to combine the two energies. Inarticulate ache, starting the middle of the night alive. Blood urging, get up now, while the plain self eyes the clock, tires to judge how it will pay later. Judge the domestic lunacy of 3 a.m., clunk of canoe being lashed, dog barking, wife waking. I am close to something here. Kayak is near to breaking waves and rock as balance will bear. For the most part, the depth as we'll start out here will be around 15 feet.
Yeah.
We're in about 10 feet here.
Okay. But when you're letting line out, just let me know in feet what I should be dropping.
Yep.
Tube and worm, the preferred method.
For me, tube and worm, for the last 2 years, I've almost fished exclusively with it. And I just have a lot of confidence if there are fish in an area, it's going to find them. Tube and worm is an ideal lure for a kayak fisherman, because the range of a tube and worm lure is about 1.5 to 3 miles an hour. Most boats, the slowest they can go is 3 miles an hour. Kayaks, we can cover that whole range. We can get down to 1.5 miles, probably fish most of the time at 2 miles an hour. So it's an effective lure for us. I'm out about 60 feet right now, Scott.
Okay.
Not too many weeds. There's
yeah.
a few weeds here, so we got to watch the weeds picking up our worms.
The pair are allowed to concentrate on the fish because their Hobies have a foot propulsion system.
Fishing with Hobies, most of the time when you tube and worm, you have the rod in a holder, and you need to watch the tip of it for whether you're going to pick up weeds or have your worm eaten or catch a fish. With a Hobie, you're free to hold it, and you have much more sensitivity about if you're picking up something that's going to interfere with the strike. And also, you can feel the strike rather than watch it by holding the rod.
Bob also with an onboard GPS.
I got GPS markings all over the place here from other trips, so. This spot here in particular has been good.
From that wall.
Between these two condos here.
And the spot produced.
Not a big one, but not too small. You don't want the fish to get behind you. You tend to lose it. Nice thing with these boats is you can reposition.
A 30-pounder the week before took Bob on a little Nantucket sleigh ride.
Pulled me about 150 feet, 2 big runs, a lot of fun. What happens with a kayak is after a certain point, your boat becomes part of the drag system on your reel. You don't have to worry about getting stripped like you were shore fishing. It'll pull you along with the boat a bit, or you can chase it if you need to. Keep it right off, about 30 inches. Good sign.
Another poetic moment.
Black stripes, dorsal fin, boiled near the surface, into this moment only inches from its shimmer, lifting the almost measurable bliss of being among wild beings, loosed back into the saving tide.
The clam worm at the end paying off.
One day I was out fishing and just having a lot of success. I'd pulled in a dozen stripers pretty quick. So I decided to try the artificial lures. Half an hour, no fish at all. Some hits, but no fish. I put the worms back on. I got 7 more right away. Ran out of worms, put the artificials on, didn't get another fish the whole trip. So I'm sold on the real ones. Little schoolie here. I've caught about 180 stripers so far this season. Only 12 blue. I think the tubing worm helps because you can be right near the bottom. One of the nice things about a tubing worm rig is that you always catch it in the lip. You don't have to worry about gut hooks with this rig.
The action was hot and the sun was just coming up.
Wow, what a sunrise.
Beautiful.
More when Fishing the Ocean State returns.
That's about, whoa.